Good morning, everyone. Bianca here from Wham Workspace and VA Bootcamp. I'm excited to be coming to you live for day 4 of Technophobe No More. Today we're talking tick, done. All of the task management things that you can do and the various platforms that are available to you in order to make it work well for you. So I will be going through a bunch of things, but we thought to start today off just a little bit differently. And we're going to have one of our team, Candace, who is on the Wham Workspace team and is also my virtual assistant, just have a little chat about how her life is different having joined the team and having completely changed direction in her career. So Candace, if you can put your hand up, I can show you on stage. Actually, I wonder if I can just do it from here. No. Can you put your hand up? Oh yes, there. Manage raise hands. I know Candace is in the session. Oh, there, invites on stage. I can do it from there. There we go. Candace, you can turn your video on, I think. No, it says you're on stage, but I'm not seeing you. Ah, there we go. Yay!
Am I coming?
Candace. Yes.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't see you. It's still in the countdown.
Oh, right.
If I reload the page, will it work?
No, you should be back. I can see you.
Okay.
Well, I can see you on the stage. You just need to turn your video on. Because it seems to have turned it off again.
Okay.
It's Candace's first time on stage. It's just us, so it's just a chat, Candace. We saw you briefly and then it turned off.
Let me just see. I'm just
gonna... So if you're in the browser, you should at the bottom of your screen have the video and the microphone. Oh. And now you disappeared. So it's not available. Oh, did you reload? I have to wait to get back in. Okay. I think she may have been having a problem with her internet. It's all right. We will bring her back when she's back in the session. So Candace, when you're back in the session, if you can raise your hand again. Oh, there. Oh, she's back on stage. Okay, almost.
There we go.
Yay!
There we go. Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello, darling. So Candace, can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing before you joined Wham Workspace?
Okay, before Wham Workspace, I previously worked in the optical field as a dispensing optician for 15 years. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to change careers when the pandemic started. I'm going to go into financial accounting through ICB. And then in that process, I was looking up virtual assistants, and there was nothing really for the South African, for South Africans. And then last year, April, I found Wham Workspace. And yeah, since last year, April, I've been working with Wham Workspace.
And what have you found one of the benefits?
I would say the benefits of working with Wham Workspace is that I feel empowered, I feel appreciated, And definitely, yes, it's good to be able to be a mom, and I can work from home. I am able to have my home life schedule as well as a work schedule, and yeah, just the dynamic of working through that.
And then obviously in Technophobe No More, we're talking about learning stuff and those sorts of things. Have you learned much over the last year?
I've learned so many things. Thanks to Adrian and Bianca, they've given me so many tools. The Technophobe No More, even VA Bootcamp, gives you so many tools, so many advice to make you comfortable in the virtual space. And I definitely feel more comfortable in the virtual space, and it's amazing.
Cool. Thank you so much, Candace. It's always nice to chat to the people that have come with us. I'll send you back. I'll hide you from the stage and you can go back into the audience. But thanks so much for hopping on. I know it made you nervous. So thank you for coming on to just chat about what we do. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, just a little bit of an introduction to one of our team members who's worked with us. Candace came to us with some training in the bookkeeping space, but she's now working in social media. She's running our TikTok channel. So did you know WAM Workspace has a TikTok channel? We don't have a whole lot on there, but Candace is helping to get that up and running. So if you're on TikTok, please feel free to go and find us and give us a like. We'd appreciate it. And Candace is also helping to assist with inbox management, and she's learned a lot of these skills since joining the team, and it's a lot of that information that we will be sharing on the full VA Bootcamp training course as well. But today is Technophobe No More, and we are talking tick, tick, done. So let me open this and get us to the right page. I'd love to know in the comments, those that are on the live call, what has been your biggest takeaway so far? What have you really enjoyed? What was helpful? So yeah, so today is about tick, tick, done, and I think a lot of what virtual assistants do is manage tasks. They manage tasks for themselves. They manage tasks for their clients. There is usually quite a lot going on. And so a lot of what you're doing not only is task management, but people management as well as time management. I will admit to not being the greatest time manager. We recently did a quiz in our business about the 4 tendencies, and I'm an obliger, which means that I am motivated by outside tasks. So I tend to give everything to my clients and forget about the stuff that I need to do. So I will drop things that I'm in the middle of in order to assist a client. So I have to do a lot of sort of all good. I have to do a lot of sort of management of myself in order to make sure that I actually get away with working on my business rather than just dropping everything for clients. So we're going to go over a bunch of the sort of technology that's out there that can help with sort of tick, tick, done and sort of task management and those sorts of things. So the first one I'm going to look at is sort of project management platforms. There are sort of 3 very big players that are quite well known. Trello, surprisingly, is probably one of the most well-known platforms in South Africa. Asana is starting to grow, certainly with international clients, although there are local clients that are starting to use it quite a lot as well. And then there's ClickUp, which is newer to the market. It's been on the market for about 3 years. And it's almost, I kind of like to describe ClickUp as a happy baby between Asana and Trello. You get more of the color from Trello and more of a visual platform, but it's more sort of linear. But well, what's nice about ClickUp is you can change how you look at it. So you can make it look like just about any other platform. So Asana is quite a powerful platform on the free tier. You can do quite a lot in Asana on the free tier. There are certain automations and those sorts of things which are only available once you pay for Asana. But there's it's very much a to-do list type app. So it's very much lots of things to tick. You can create subtasks within tasks and subtasks within those. So you can go quite far down into the subtask of subtask of subtask. And each of those can be assigned to someone else. They can have their own due dates and those sorts of things. And on the paid account, once you've marked all of the subtasks done, it'll mark the mark the main task done, etc. But Asana is very much a list type view. They are trying to introduce other views, and you can look at Asana in a Kanban view, but it just doesn't feel as natural. Asana was designed as a list management, a list type project management program, and it works really well. And for a lot of clients, it's exactly what works for them, particularly clients that are wordy, that are used to kind of creating their own lists that they tick off. Asana translates really well online. You can create quite large groups. You can manage who can see inside which groups, etc. So Asana is a nice option for starting out. We certainly used it in our business. We didn't use it initially. Our first one we used was Trello because at the time that was the in-project task management platform. Trello started to have quite a lot of limitations. And particularly as a team grows, Trello can get quite confusing because in Trello you create cards and the cards move in sort of columns. What happens with Trello is it starts to become quite complicated to watch conversations and to find information relating to a particular task without going into it and scrolling quite a lot. Where Asana, it's a little more easy to go, for example, and log in and just see the tasks that are assigned to you. Trello is just not quite as smooth. Trello is fantastic for organizing a very small business. If it's a one-man band and you know where everything is in your Trello boards, it's a very useful platform. It's really, it can be very useful in a business that has a very clear flow of products. Or very clear flows of some sort. So if you are writing as a copywriter or something like that, you could start with a product and start with a blog post, for example, and you would then move it from idea and you would move it into the column of writing. And once you'd written it, you'd move it into a column called review. It would then be reviewed and you would move it into the column called approved. And then or needs images, and you could then add the whoever on the team is doing images would then add the images into that card. It would then move into to be published. Once it was published, it would then go into, for example, a published column. And once it had the comments had been reviewed and it had been shared on social media or something like that, you would then move it into sort of an archive column. So Trello works very much what they call a Kanban style, where you move from one kind of area or status or whatever from one to the other across, and then it ends up in an archive system at the end, which works very well for certain businesses or for certain tasks within a business. Trello can also be really good for saving sort of template documents and business info that doesn't change, that you just want to group in certain categories. Trello, what's nice about Trello is it's quite visual. You can color code the cards, you can have different colored labels, you can assign cards to people. What gets complicated is you can't assign subtasks within a card to a particular person or to a different person other than the main person on the card. So it can get sort of complicated to keep track of who's doing what and those sorts of things. So, but for visual clients or for clients that are sort of used to sticky notes, Trello is a really good option because it's essentially a virtual sticky note board where you move the sticky notes from column to column. So if you're one of those people that has one of those big whiteboards and you've got the information at the top and you basically move a project along the different stages of the project, Trello can work really well for you. ClickUp, like I said, is almost like a really lovely baby of Asana and Trello. What's nice about ClickUp is it has about 6 different view types, which are built in and automatic. So you can view it like a list in Asana. You can view it on a Kanban board like Trello. And what's nice in ClickUp is you can decide what category the Kanban board goes in. So you can create your own custom fields within a ClickUp task, and you can then use those fields in order to organize your cards if you're doing it in the Kanban view. So for example, what we have is we have a board for our potential clients, and all potential clients have a card. We view that one in the Kanban. And that particular Kanban is organized not by the status of doing. So that particular one has to do, doing, reviewing, and done. But we have a custom field that tells us where that client is. Is it a client? Have they had their initial call? Have they had the sales call? Have they had a contract? Did they become a client, or are we keeping them as a reference for the business or something like that? So what's nice with ClickUp is you can set up quite a lot of customization. What's really nice for a bigger business, particularly in ClickUp, is each person can set their own view defaults. So if you come from a Trello background and you prefer the Kanban view and it works for you, you can set that up automatically. And if you are like me and you're much better with words and you prefer seeing a list of to-do tasks, you can set your view as the default, which is the list view in ClickUp. ClickUp also allows for quite a lot more automation, but it's also very color. It can be very visual, so you can assign colors to boards and you can assign colors to different projects. So you can quite easily see when looking at ClickUp what the task falls under. The color coding lets you know where it fits in and everything. So we, as you can hear, really love ClickUp. We've been using it in our own business for about 2.5 years. And we've moved a few clients into ClickUp who are all very much enjoying ClickUp. So it's a wonderful platform to use. It does offer a free tier, which gets you 5 spaces and not necessarily all of the automations. But you do have quite a lot of power even on the free plan to be able to do quite a lot with ClickUp. ClickUp also has the option of ClickUp documents and ClickUp forms. So you can integrate storing documents in ClickUp, how they relate to what you're working in. Monday.com is one that comes up quite often. It's very popular internationally. It's fairly similar to ClickUp. There are some differences, and it's not necessarily a platform that we've worked in a lot, but to just put it on the list because it is a name that does come up particularly from international clients. So it's just one to be aware of. Again, they also have a free platform. It's sort of similar, somewhere between Asana and ClickUp. You can also have more color, and you can choose the type of view that you view it in. Yeah, it's just another platform that I just wanted to mention because it is one that comes up. There are other task management platforms that are out there, things like Todoist, which is literally just a to-do list that you can tick off. Again, lots and lots of to-do apps, but I think what these 4 apps do, which you don't get from just a straight to-do list that you check off, is that you get some more automations. You are able to save documents in all of them. So you can save Loom videos, you can create SOPs within the task management platforms, which is a really good use for a task management platform. SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures, and it's basically a document that shows anyone outside of your business how to do the tasks that are within your business. And so it's really useful. A lot of people don't sort of think of SOPs as these huge big books with pages and pages of information on how to do things, when in actual fact what works the best is short little videos, now that we've got apps like Loom on our machines, and you can literally just record yourself doing something, pop that Loom into a document, and that becomes your SOP for doing that particular task. And so it's not as complicated, certainly, as I felt it was. Let me word it that way. I remember hearing the words SOP and thinking, oh my word, this is going to have to be this huge big document that like lives somewhere. Like I literally had visuals of like big lawyers' books on my bookshelf, which were my SOPs for the business. Always sound like Standard Operating Procedures, sounded like this huge big, but actually after some coaching and some years of just doing stuff, I started to realize that actually what an SOP is basically a simple gathering of Loom videos and simple instructions on how to do specific things within the business. So that's task management. The nice thing with all of these is that you can assign tasks, you can assign dates to your tasks. So you can set it up to get reminders, and you can have sort of almost all of them bar Trello allow you to sort by date. So you can just see the things that are due in the next few days. Which is very helpful because it helps you work through and get your tasks done in time. It's what I like about both Asana and ClickUp and Trello to a degree is it's really easy to switch between accounts. So if you are on client accounts for Asana or ClickUp or Trello, they all make it fairly simple for you to switch between the accounts and between the projects to be able to see tasks across platforms. So those are just sort of some of the things to keep in mind there. So under task management, I wanted to talk a little bit about social media scheduling, because I think this is also something that, one, is a very popular task for virtual assistants. I think there are a lot of marketing agencies that are out there that will assist clients with setting up a strategy for their social media and for marketing their business or their websites or whatever. But it often feels very overwhelming for a client to get this 3-month strategy that requires them to post on 4 different platforms 7 days a week. And how do they actually get that all done? And how do you even figure out what to post and when to post and how to post it and all of those sorts of things. So it's very useful to think about social media scheduling platforms. So these platforms that I've listed schedule across multiple platforms. The other options that you have for social media scheduling are actually within the platforms. So Facebook and Instagram can both be scheduled from within the Creative Studio, which is on your business.facebook.com page. And you can only have a business Instagram if you have a Facebook page. And now by default, if you have a Facebook page, you have the Business for Facebook integration. And you can schedule posts to both your Facebook and your Instagram from the Creator Studio, which is really nice. So if you're really only on those platforms, you probably don't need to worry about another platform for that's outside of the Facebook metaverse. But I will go in, and then Pinterest also has a pin creator. I think there's a scheduling tool that's built into the Pinterest platform as well. So you have got that as an option. LinkedIn on Pages, I think you can schedule posts as well, but it's not as intuitive. So, but again, I would only be using those platforms if that's the only platform that you're on. If you're focusing exclusively on LinkedIn, then go ahead and learn the LinkedIn scheduling and do it within LinkedIn. If you're focusing exclusively on Pinterest, then go in and do all your creating and scheduling and everything within the Pinterest platform. If you're focusing on only Facebook and or Instagram, then again, go in there. But if you are wanting to post across multiple platforms, which a lot of people do want to do, particularly if you've paid someone for a strategy, they're likely to give you a strategy that goes across multiple platforms. So Later lets you schedule for Instagram and Pinterest, I think. The platforms that are available on the different social media programs changes fairly regularly. Planoly definitely lets you schedule to Instagram and to Pinterest. And I think they have added another platform recently as well. Tailwind is a platform that's designed mainly for Pinterest. What they offer there, which is unique, is that they offer you opportunities to join sort of group boards where you support each other and you share each other's pins and those sorts of things, and it helps to create engagement. It is a paid platform. Later and Planoly both have free tiers, and if you pay, then you get more automation, or you get a higher number of posts that you can schedule at the same time. Tailwind also lets you schedule out pins and also schedule out repins and sharing of products and those sorts of things. So it's quite a powerful platform if you are interested in being in the Pinterest space. Pablo and SmarterQ are two that we've used fairly extensively in our business. They are both paid platforms. Pablo, they both allow you to post to a wide variety of the social media platforms. Pablo is the one that we currently use in our business. We were with SmarterQ until I got a lifetime deal on Pablo, and that's been a really good investment for our business. So SmarterQ, one of the things that they are very popular for is the fact that you can schedule evergreen content, and Pablo does the same thing. So their features are fairly similar, but you can schedule evergreen content. So the kind of things like I mentioned yesterday when we were talking about Pinterest, the kind of information that can be shared over and over again and it never gets stale. So some of the things that we were scheduling as evergreen content were things like scheduling on the different social media platforms, where to follow us on another platform. So follow us on Instagram if you're in LinkedIn, or vice versa. and those sorts of things. We also added our blog posts into the evergreen queue because we write the blog posts in such a way that they are always available for, that the information that we share is sort of evergreen. So we make sure to add those into Smarter Queue or into evergreen posts. And then you can also, so both within Publer and Smarter Queue, you can schedule you can batch schedule a lot of content, which is really what the benefit is of these social media scheduling platforms. Even the ones that are built into the platforms themselves allow you to batch schedule a certain amount of content. So what that means is you kind of set aside 3 or 4 hours a week where you sit down and you create all of your images in Canva or wherever it is that you do your creations. You set up all of your captions, and you schedule out what you are posting for the next week, 2 weeks, month. It's entirely up to you how much you want to schedule ahead of time. What is nice is all of them, once they're scheduled, you can go in and edit. You can change what day or time or date. So if something happens in the world and you don't necessarily want to be posting, for example, the biggest example that I always give of this is our local spa posted Facebook ads on the day of the Durban riots on a special for coffee. And I remember seeing this ad come up on my Facebook newsfeed and going, seriously? Like, you should have turned off your Facebook ads as soon as your shop was on the news last night as it was being raided while the president was on TV. Because yes, that's my spa just up the road from me. But it was just kind of like, those are the sort of things that you need to pay attention to if you have scheduled social media posts or adverts, that when something like the apocalypse, as we now refer to it in Durban, happened in July last year, you want to be able to make sure that you're not posting things that are inappropriate on those particular days. So always make sure that you're kind of keeping in mind what you're scheduling when, and that if something does come up, that you're able to quickly go in and remove that from your schedules. What I love about Publer and Smarter Queue is you can set topics. So you can schedule out particular topics at particular days into your social media, and you can do it for each of the various platforms that you're on. And it will then choose any of the posts that you have tagged for that topic and post them on those days in your schedule. So it means that you can go in and you can load up a whole bunch of posts. You don't need to be very specific about where they go in the schedule necessarily. As long as they tagged, the automation on the system will automatically post them on the right days, which is quite a nice option. Another thing that we love about Publer, which is fairly recent, is you can now publish your images and your videos from Canva straight into Publer, which is really nice. Instead of having to download them onto your machine and then upload them into Publer's media library, you can now go straight from Canva and publish them straight into Publer directly. So that just saves a little bit of bandwidth and a little bit of time. I think particularly for South Africans, anything that stays on the internet instead of having to download and upload again definitely helps with our insane internet costs in South Africa. As far as what to post when and those sorts of things, again, it all depends on your business and depends on the information that you are wanting to put out there. There are hundreds of resources out there for social media schedules. It's not something that I claim to know a lot about, but what I will say is, as a virtual assistant, one of the best things that you can market is the ability to actually action a client's strategy. So a lot of clients will pay for a social media strategy, or will sign up for one of those courses, or sign up for one of the freebies to get a schedule. And as soon as they get the schedule, it all just feels really overwhelming. And that's definitely a market that you can tap into as a virtual assistant and go, cool, give me your schedule, give me your strategy, let me put the posts together and make sure that we put them out on your social media. Another thing that is very popular as a virtual assistant is social media engagement. So on behalf of a client, going in and commenting, replying to comments from people on posts, and that sort of thing, and just building engagement for that client. It's quite a time-consuming thing. What's nice about it for virtual assistants is that you can usually do it from just about anywhere, and you can probably do a lot of that on your phone. So it's a nice job to take on if you're not looking for huge amounts of time commitment for clients, but clients will pay really well for those, for someone to do that for them. So just some things to keep in mind as far as social media scheduling. And then I just want to touch on automations. So Zapier, apparently it's pronounced Zapier, even though they spelt it wrong. And the whole idea is that it is supposed to make you happier, which I read in their thing, which is why it's called Zapier. Everyone I know in a European English-speaking country calls it Zapier, because that's how it's spelled. But anyway, that's just an aside. So Zapier is a platform that lets you create zaps, which are automations that move information from one place to another. You can have a free Zapier account, and you can have one-step automations, and they work pretty similarly to if this, then that. So if this happens, do that. So Zapier and if this, then that, the if at the bottom there, are both platforms that let you do one-step. Well, Zapier lets you do complicated steps if you're on a paid account. So on a free account on Zapier, you can take information from one place and you can send it somewhere else. And Zapier, because it's really well known and they've worked really hard at marketing themselves, they link up to thousands of different applications and products that are out there. So you can have information come from one place and go to another place. So some of the things that clients of ours do with Zapier is get clients' information from their website when they make a purchase and send it to their email marketing platform. Or they, another client of ours pays for Zapier, so she gets the client's information from the purchase on her website, and she then creates a folder for them in Dropbox. She creates a ClickUp project for them in her ClickUp, which auto-populates a template. It sends her an email, and it adds them to her email marketing database. So one Zap sends all of that information to all of the various places, and it just saves her all that time of manually going and adding things and copying things across. She could do that on a free account, but it would basically be 4 different steps that she would need to do rather than doing a single recipe that does all of that. And that's just called her website purchase recipe. It also adds tags depending on which product they've bought, and that then decides which template goes into ClickUp. So it's a very, very powerful platform. Zapier is also very user-friendly. It's a lot of drop downs, and you just have to sort of link up the 2 sides, and then it will give you the drop downs that you need to fill in. Their help is really useful, and so it's quite easy to learn how to do Zapier recipes for automation. There are quite a few people that use it when it comes to social media. Things like if someone comments on a post, send that comment to a virtual assistant on email or on Slack or something along those lines. So there's loads of options. Well worth going and having a look at what all the options are for Zapier integrations. I've included Integromat, but I have left the logo quite small because Integromat is a very, very powerful platform. It is very affordable. However, it is quite complicated. You need to know a fair amount of how the internet works and how APIs work and those sorts of things. And it's not a platform that I've worked in at all. But it's very popular in the tech space because obviously these are guys that are building quite a lot of complicated websites. They tend to know quite a lot about coding and those sorts of things. So to them, Integromat makes a lot more sense. It allows you to do multi-step automations and is super, super powerful if you spend the time learning to use it. So I wanted to mention it because it is one of the big names that is out there. There are others as well, but I'm just going to leave it at those three because those are the three that I really know about. I see names now and again of other things, other sort of automation platforms that are out there. But those are the three that I sort of know of and have had a look at. I don't want to talk about products that I haven't actually used before. And that is everything on task management today. Oops. Tomorrow will be our last of the 5-day lives, which is What the Web. And we'll be looking at websites as well as website platforms. And we'll be looking, I'll be chatting a little bit about how to use your website for marketing and those sorts of things. So tomorrow is What the Web. And that is it for task management and tick done. For today, I hope that everyone has enjoyed watching Technophobe No More. If you're keen to get to know these platforms in more detail, if you want to get some of the templates and ways that you can use a lot of this technology in order to grow your virtual assistants business, VA Bootcamp is now open for enrollment, and we are excited to have you join us for our 12-week live course. It'll be a live Q&A with me once a week for 12 weeks on a variety of topics. Module 1 covers a lot of what is a VA, what do you need in order to start as a virtual assistant. Although some of the topics in the initial section may be things that you already have in place or things that you already know, I find that it's often useful to do these sort of beginner classes because you often learn a little bit more on how to run your business. Module 2 covers a lot of the finance side of the business and the legal and technical sides. And then module 3, we go into a lot more detail on very specific platforms and how to use them and how to make sure that you're ensuring that your clients are doing things the right way and that you're doing things the right way. So a lot of what we cover in the course will cover both for you as a virtual assistant running your own business. We'll cover a lot of the mindset side of becoming a virtual assistant and getting over imposter syndrome and working with international clients and earning dollars. I'm passionate. There's a lot of potential for South Africans to do really well internationally in this virtual space. Because of our pricing, we can be very competitive. But I also don't want you all to shoot yourselves in the foot. So if you're keen, if you have any questions, please feel free to join us. We had a request during the lives to talk more about niching. So what we've decided to do is that Monday session, which was going to be a live Q&A, we will run a niching workshop. So if anyone would like to join us for a live session on how to find your niche, how to define your niche, what is having a niche, why do you need a niche, I'll be going into a lot of that information on our call on Monday. I look forward to having you all there. And one last mention is that next Wednesday afternoon, we are running a virtual assistant, a travel agent to virtual assistant free workshop. It'll be an informative discussion on how the skills as a travel agent can translate into working in the virtual assistance business arena, and how you can retain your love for travel and your love for working in that particular industry, but boost your industry post the pandemic, where I know that a lot of the travel industry is struggling because of all the restrictions and those sorts of things. So do join us if you are interested in that. You can find more information on the Facebook page, on my Facebook page, or on our website. So thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock for What the Web.